back to the show. All right, we're now going to try a new segment, and as you know, Sunda, every time we try a new segment, it is a disaster.
It is a disaster, and you guys love a train wreck, and that's why you're tuned in.
That's right. So
The cameraman blew his nose.
did he really?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Ask him.
Are you okay?
Concerned?
You didn't catch my allergy.
Jealous?
A little jealous, yeah.
There you go.
All right, so
But you know what?
Yes.
That's not your business.
That's not, no. We call this segment Everybody's Business because as Sunda will tell you, please tell them.
Jews can't whisper. They can't keep a secret. They tell their business. They tell your business. They tell everybody's business.
They tell everybody's business.
Everybody's business.
So we have our own stories. People have written to us with their stories about someone who went around telling everybody's business. Like, for example, even me, I witnessed an incredible story, an incredible situation. I was at Temple for the high holidays.
Once a year.
And these two, once a year, no, I go twice a year. I also go on Good Friday. It's comedy. I was at Temple for Rosh Hashanah, and these two Jewish guys were talking, and a third Jewish guy comes by, and he says to one of them, he says, "Hey, so-and-so, how's the investigation going?" And he says, "What are you asking me that for in front of all these people? How do you know he knows and she knows about the investigation?" Because I figured everybody knows about the investigation. And then before you know it, he had to start telling everybody about the investigation, which didn't sound very good. And I was like, there's a Jew telling everybody's business.
Everybody's business. It's like when I was at, where were we? I was at a fundraiser. I was at a fundraiser for the City of Hope, and a dear friend of mine who's Jewish. I didn't want to go because I was on bed rest, but I said, this time I'm going to go because I have to. And I go, and she says, "You made it." She says, "You're not going to believe how strong this woman is. 2 miscarriages, and look at her now. This one's a keeper."
This one's a keeper.
This one's a keeper.
This woman is telling everybody's business.
Everybody's business. My business was told. That was the funniest thing that you ever heard.
It's
now,
the best.
another situation that happened, I don't know if this is anybody's business, but I'm going to tell it, and I won't use names, is my girlfriend was getting married. And I was so excited for her. And she was pregnant, but was getting married anyway. They were engaged for a year, and they were getting married. And so I called her mom and said to her, "I wanted to congratulate you, and also congratulate you, like you're going to be a grandmother, you know, like that's so exciting." And she said, "What'd you say, sugar?" And I said, "You're going to be a grandmother." I said, "That is so exciting." I go, "Wow, that's like so great." And she said, "Well, you know what, baby, let me call you back later." And so she hung up the phone, and then my girlfriend called me, and she was so mad at me. And she goes, "What is wrong with you? Why would you do that to me? Why would you do that to me? Why would you tell my mom I was pregnant?" And I said, "I thought she knew."
Because you're a Jew, and there you are, telling everybody's business.
I thought she was pregnant. So, you know, when you guys are tweeting us at James and Sunda, please tweet us situations where your business is being told.
Or tell us somebody else's business. We're very interested in other people's business.
We're very interested in other people's business. Now we have no choice.
Well, Jews have this propensity to tell everybody's business.
I
mean, in the opening, I talked about my father, and does he want people knowing?
That his eye is bleeding?
He doesn't want people knowing. I didn't ask for permission.
He told,
I told his
James
business.
was telling his business. So you can't do that in a black family because you got to mind your business.
That's
what
black
you do.
people mind their business.
They mind their business.
Jewish people mind everybody
And you know
else's
how you know
business.
they're minding their business? Because you say to a brother, "Hey man, how you doing? How you feel? How's everything been?" Sup.
That's the answer.
That's the answer.
Sup.
Sup. Sup. So you can't get anything except my brother, who I think does talk a lot.
What was the story about? Was it at Macy's or at the department store? There was
Oh my God!
story?
So this one woman's registering for the wedding. Talk about chuppahs and Jewish weddings. Except another person found out at the same time, simultaneously, while she was being registered for her wedding, she was registering for the baby department also. And she was talking, we call this a premature birth. That's what they call them, premature births. You know, when the baby comes like a month before the 9 months.
Sure.
Technically. Now, in other people's beliefs, it's just like she got jacked up before she got married. You know what I mean? That's just the truth of the matter. But Jewish families change it and say, because you know my mother-in-law used to always say, "We don't do that. We don't do that."
You do an incredible impression of your mother-in-law. It's
I
unbelievable.
miss her tremendously.
Yes. Now, she didn't tell everybody's business.
No,
she was
used
the
to-
exception,
no.
right?
This is what she would say. She would say, me, I mind my own business. And she would fly across to the other apartment to see what was going on.
Oh, really? Because my mother will tell everybody's business.
Yes, she will.
I remember one time my sister walked in and we had a full house of people and she started telling everybody about how my sister was sick the night before and she had to go to the emergency room. And
Why is she telling everybody's business?
Everybody's business. She just tells everybody's business, yeah.
My husband's no better.
Yeah, oh, my God. He really isn't. He tells everybody's business. You can't tell him anything.
You can't tell him anything.
You can't tell her husband anything.
Except when it comes to a legal thing, what happens?
Then he won't. Then he
won't
keeps
say
his
a
mouth
word.
shut. But unless you want it, don't
Nothing.
tell him anything that you don't want printed in the New York Times.
That's all I'm saying.
That's the truest thing you're ever going to hear.
Because you will go to hell in a handbasket.
Oh my God! I gotta tell you this. This is a side. I was at Temple and they're all talking like her
Keeps
husband.
talking like he goes to Temple every week.
All of the Jews at
Once a year,
Temple.
Charlie.
All the Jews once a year, Charlie. I'm there every week.
All right, once a year, Shlomo.
I'm
Sorry.
at Temple all the time.
Doing what?
Whatever I do, there's not important. Sometimes I
Okay.
got to use the bathroom. Something's on the way somewhere. No, I go. But they were all talking like your husband. I swear they were all together saying, you know why the world is like this? Because of Jimmy Carter. All of them were saying this. No, this all started with Jimmy Carter. When he's on the next show, I got to tell him. They were all talking about Jimmy Carter.
No, he'll get really upset and say that they're copying him and that he knows who they are and
He'll get all
this
fired
one,
up.
that one, this one, that one. He's hysterical today. You know what he did last night? I don't want to tell his business.
Tell his business.
He's a lawyer, right? So he comes in late, first of all. I'm so happy to see him. And I said to the guy at the front desk, I go, oh my God, my baby's here, right? So I run over, and there's a new person in the building thinking I have a baby, I guess. And it's my husband. So I give him a big kiss, hello, come in, ba-ba-ba-ba. And he comes in, he wants something to eat. So I heated up some food from the holidays. He'll never know. Listen, and he'll never know how old it is. Just put some pepper. Anyway, here's what I'm saying. I put it in the microwave, and the next thing I see him go, ah! And he says to me, you're trying to kill me. This bowl is hot. So he says to me, you're trying to kill me. Spits out the food. Now, if something's microwaved, don't you test it first?
When he had gallstones and he was suffering from nausea and he was vomiting and he didn't know he had a gallbladder problem, he really kept accusing Sunda of trying to kill him. He kept eating and then throwing up and getting sick and saying, what are you trying to kill me? But none of us who were eating the same food got sick or threw up. But because he had a sickness but didn't know. And for like a week or two, I remember he kept accusing you of trying to kill him.
And who knew before Ray advised me? All I have to do is put eye drops in his
right?
You can't say a name.
Why can't you say a name?
I don't think you can say a name. Can you say a name?
Yeah, you could say a name.
Dude, we are not on Snap. We're not teaching people how to kill their husbands now, are we?
No, but what do you think CSI and Law and Order does? They give you advice on how to kill people. That's what the whole show's about.
So
subtly.
A couple of
it's
drops.
How not to get caught.
Look, it's a couple of drops a day. He'll never know.
He'll never know.
He'll never know. That's what it should be called. He'll never know.
All right. Well,
that's
everybody's business.
Everybody's business.
I don't think that was a disaster.
It wasn't
I thought
a disaster.
that went really
I thought it
well.
was a damn good segment.
Damn
right?
good segment.
Tell us your business. Tweet us at James and Sunda. Find us on Facebook at James and Sunda, and don't forget us on Indiegogo.
We want to know your business. We'll be right back.